Social Security's shift away from paper checks isn't a proposal anymore, it's federal law. And the Social Security Administration says the transition is being completed this year. That's one of 3 direct deposit rule changes now in effect, and together they touch every person who receives a Social Security or SSI payment, whether you've had direct deposit for decades or you still open a paper check every month. Here's what this video covers: the 3 rule changes, exactly who each one affects, the dollar and time cost of ignoring them, and the exact steps to take this week. Stay to the end. The 3rd change is the one most people overlook completely, and it matters most for protecting your check, not just receiving it. Before we get into the details, this is worth saying plainly. These rules change quietly, almost every year, buried in agency announcements nobody reads start to finish. Nobody sits down and explains in plain English what a change like this actually means for your specific check. That's the only thing this channel does. If that's useful, subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one. It's free, it's plain English, and there's nothing being sold. So why is this happening now, in 2026 specifically? 2 separate pressures collided. The Treasury Department has been pushing to eliminate paper federal payments entirely under Executive Order 14247 because a paper check is far more likely to be lost, stolen, altered, or delayed in the mail than a direct deposit. At the same time, fraud attempts targeting Social Security recipients have risen sharply. Callers posing as the SSA, asking people to confirm their bank details to keep payments flowing. So the SSA tightened identity verification around direct deposit changes at the exact moment the government is pushing everyone toward electronic payment. 2 different problems, 1 result. The rules around how your check gets deposited and how you're allowed to change that are stricter than they were even a year ago. None of it resolves itself. You have to know what changed, or you find out the hard way. If you're thinking, this doesn't apply to me, I've had direct deposit for years, and my check always shows up, that's exactly the group most exposed to Rule 2, because it's not about whether you currently have direct deposit, it's about what happens the moment you ever need to change it. And if you're thinking, I don't need to worry, nothing about my account is changing, that assumption is precisely what the 3rd rule exploits, because it's a scam built to catch people who feel like they have nothing to check. Here's the part that should make you a little angry. The productive kind, the kind that gets you to check your own account today. None of these 3 changes come with a single unified notice. There's no one letter that says, here are the 3 new direct deposit rules. Here's what to do. They're scattered across separate agency announcements, and the people most affected, retirees managing mail, a landline, and one login they rarely use, are the least likely to see all 3 pieces in one place. So let's go through them one at a time. The first rule, paper Social Security checks are being phased out, and if you're one of the beneficiaries still receiving one, the clock is not indefinite. The misconception is that this is a distant optional change you can get to eventually. It isn't. Under Executive Order 14247, Social Security retirement, survivor, and disability benefits, along with SSI, are required to be paid electronically, either by direct deposit into a bank or credit union account, or through the Direct Express debit card program if you don't use a traditional bank. The SSA has stated its intent to complete this transition this year. This mostly affects longtime beneficiaries, often older recipients who've received a paper check for decades and never had a reason to switch. Whether your monthly benefit is modest or substantial, the mechanics are identical. The switch happens either with your input or eventually without it. The catch: waiting doesn't protect you, it just means the transition could happen at a moment you're not prepared for. The action right now: log in or create an account at ssa.gov or call 1-8007-721213 and either add your direct deposit bank information or enroll in Direct Express. Do it before a payment is due, not after one doesn't arrive. The second rule affects nearly everyone listening, regardless of how long you've had direct deposit. Changing your banking information over the phone is no longer the simple, one-call process it used to be. The misconception is that if your bank account ever changes, a new bank, a closed account, an updated routing number, you can call the SSA and fix it in a single conversation. That's no longer reliable. The SSA has strengthened identity verification for any change to your direct deposit details, which in practice means using your personal My Social Security online account, protected by multi-factor authentication, or visiting a local Social Security field office in person to verify your identity. This hits the retiree who assumes a quick call will handle any issue just as hard as the retiree living paycheck to paycheck who can't absorb a delay. The catch most people miss: if you've never set up a My Social Security account with verified access and something happens to your bank account, you may need to travel to a field office at the exact moment a payment gap hurts the most. The action right now: if you don't already have a My Social Security account, create one today at ssa.gov/myaccount. You'll need your Social Security number, a government-issued ID, and access to your phone or email for verification. Set this up now while nothing is wrong, not later when you're already scrambling. The third rule is the one almost nobody talks about, and it's both a rule and your best protection. The SSA will never call you asking for your bank account number, routing number, or full Social Security number to comply with the new 2026 direct deposit rules. Real communication about your specific record arrives by mail or through your verified online account, never as an unexpected phone call demanding an immediate answer. The misconception is that because real tightening is genuinely happening right now, a call referencing new direct deposit requirements sounds believable. That believability is exactly what scammers are counting on. This affects everyone, but it catches hardest the retiree who's heard something vague in the news about direct deposit changes and now feels pressure to stay compliant the second a caller mentions it. The catch: a legitimate SSA contact about your account will reference something already in your file, a letter, an application, a specific case number, never a generic threat that your payments will stop unless you act immediately. If a caller claiming to be the SSA asks you to confirm or provide bank details, hang up. Call 1-800-77-21213 directly using a number from an official document, not one the caller gives you, and confirm anything in question yourself. Before this week is over, do 3 things. 1. If you're still receiving a paper check, start your switch to direct deposit or direct express today, online or by phone. 2. If you don't have a verified My Social Security online account, set one up now before an emergency forces you to do it under pressure. 3. Save the real SSA number, 1-800-772-1213, somewhere visible, your fridge, your phone contacts, so if anyone calls claiming to be the SSA, you have the real number to check against. 3 steps, about 20 minutes combined, protecting every payment you're owed going forward. Sit with this for a second. None of these 3 changes happened because of anything you did. They were decided in Washington, in agency policy meetings, inside an executive order most people will never read in full, and they took effect whether or not you happen to be paying attention that week. That's how these changes always work. They don't wait for you to catch up. The change took effect on its own. Making it work in your favor instead of against you is entirely on you. That's not an exaggeration. That's just how these changes work. If you know someone over 60 who's still getting a paper check or who's never set up their online account, send them this video. Not because they've done anything wrong. Most people simply never had a reason to think about it until now. You could be the reason they fix it before it becomes a problem, instead of after. That's what this channel exists for. Not to alarm you, but to make sure the people you care about aren't blindsided by a rule nobody bothered to explain clearly. In the next video, I'm going to break down a separate 2026 change to how the SSA recovers overpayments and why the amount it can now withhold from your monthly check jumped dramatically higher than it used to be. It's one of the most consequential changes retirees haven't been told about plainly. I'll see you there.